Oh, class.
Oh, yes.
Classy class.
Yes, yes.
Good morning. Today we are going to be talking about plants. Can anybody tell me something that they might know about a plant by raising their hand? Yes.
Plants are green.
Plants are green. That's a good one. Does anybody know where plants might live? Has anybody seen plants out in our world? And where do plants live? Yes.
Outside.
Outside. Can plants live inside? Yes.
Yes.
We've seen like house plants can live inside. Do we eat plants? Yes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes we do. Let's think about some plants that we do eat. We eat potatoes, which is the root of the plant. We're going to talk about roots today. We eat lettuce, which is the leaves of the plant. We're going to talk about leaves today. And something that we eat from the flower is sunflower seeds. We eat the seeds from the flower of the plant. So, today our objective is, given a piece of paper, you, the student, will be able to draw a plant and identify, label, and explain each part of a plant with 3 out of 4 correct answers. Does everybody know what identify means? Yes or no? No. Identify means that you are going to be able to look at a plant that you've drawn and be able to tell me what each part that you have drawn is. That's what identify means. You're going to tell me what each part of that means. Okay? So to get your mastery level today on this lesson, you have to get 3 out of 4 correct answers. So now we're going to read a story about how plants grow, and we're going to have small discussions during our story to get a better understanding about how plants grow so that you guys can draw your own plants.
Say it again.
The name of our story is called How Plants Grow, and this is by Donna Herwick Rice. Do you know how plants grow? I want you to turn to your partner for 1 minute and talk about how you think plants grow. Ready, go. Three, 2, 1, back up here. We had some really good discussion up in the front. Anna, can you tell me what you and your partner are talking about?
Plants grow from seeds.
Plants grow from seeds, that is correct. Plants do grow from seeds. So let's read our story and find out how plants grow. First, there is a seed, just like Hannah was telling us. It is under the ground. Next, roots grow down into the soil. Does anybody know what roots are? I want you to get out your dry erase boards and write down what you think a root is. You have 1 minute. Okay, everybody hold up your whiteboards. Let's see who knows what roots are. Hannah says roots are how the plant gets water. That is very good insight. Roots are the part of the seed that comes down the bottom to give our plant our water to grow into the plant. Very good, Hannah. The roots get food and water for the plant, just as Hannah was just telling us. Now our plant is growing into our seed is growing into a plant. Then leaves begin to grow. Everybody get out your whiteboards again and tell me, what do you think a leaf is? What's a leaf? All right, everybody hold your whiteboards up. Tell me what a leaf is. Leaves are on plants. That's good. All plants have leaves. They have leaves because they have to get the sunlight from the sun in order to grow. So it's like they're holding their arms out almost, like us, like humans, holding their arms out so they can get all the sunlight so they can grow. That's what our leaves do. Soon, the plant is above the ground. And the plant has to go above the ground so that the leaves can get all that sunlight so that the plant can grow. Then, there is a plant growing in the sun. Just like I was talking about, these plants are starting to get little flowers on them, as you can see. And look at all these roots down here. This is how our plant is getting all of its food is from these roots down the bottom. The plant may grow flowers. Does all plants grow flowers? Yes.
No.
No, not all plants grow flowers. Only some plants grow flowers. We can watch plants grow. We can watch plants grow tall. Okay, so these are some words that were in our story today. And I want you to take a minute and look at these words. And if you don't know a word, I want you to write it on your whiteboard. You have 1 minute to look at these words and write on your whiteboard ones that you don't know really that well. About another 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody hold their whiteboards up and let's see some words from our words to know list that we may not know. Hannah wrote on her whiteboard the word above. Above means that plant was growing above the ground. So the ground is down below the plant, so the plant is above the ground. And that is the end of our story. Now, we are going to watch a short video on how plants grow to help you guys better understand how a seed becomes a plant. I may stop this video and ask you some questions, so be sure you're paying attention.
Oh, hey guys, Squeaks and I are checking out our plants and they look great. It's almost hard to believe that these beautiful flowers and plants came from the teeny tiny seeds we put in the pots just a few weeks ago. You might be familiar with the little packets of seeds that you use to grow flowers or vegetables in your garden, or maybe the sunflower seeds that you find in your snack mix. But did you know that popcorn kernels, beans, peas, acorns, and rice are also seeds? Well, one of our friends, 5-year-old Dimitri, wrote in to ask us, how does a seed grow into a plant? Thanks for asking, Dimitri. First of all, seeds come in lots of different shapes and sizes, but they're all made of 3 parts. An outer shell called the seed coat, a tiny baby plant that's inside the seed called the embryo, and some plant food for the embryo called endosperm. The seed coat has an important job. It covers the entire seed, protecting the little baby plant inside and keeping it from drying out. The seed coat also has super sensing powers. It has special chemicals in it that can tell when the seed is in the right place to start growing. For example, the sunflower seeds and the pumpkin seeds in your trail mix sense that it's not safe to grow. After all, seeds can't grow when they're surrounded by raisins and chocolate chips. So while the seeds are in a bag or in your hands, it's like they're asleep. The seeds are still alive, but they're dormant or inactive. Some seeds can stay like this for hundreds or even thousands of years. Great question, Squeaks. To get started, every seed needs water, the right temperature, and the right amount of light. Once the seed has these 3 things, like when it's planted in some nice wet soil, the embryo, or baby plant, gets the signal to start growing. For plants, this growing process is called germination. First, the seed coat lets some water through to the embryo, but the embryo needs more than just water if it's going to grow. Good thing, there's a whole bunch of plant food right there inside the seed. Until the plant can make its own food from sunlight, which it will need leaves to do, it relies...
So we just talked about that a minute ago. What did she just talk about? She was just talking about the leaves because the plant has to have leaves for the sunlight for the plant to grow. That's what she was just talking about.
For energy. It's like the little baby plant has its own backpack of snacks. So the embryo keeps growing and taking in more water until the seed coat cracks open and the embryo kicks out a kind of a foot. But not at all like my foot. The first part of the plant to come out of the seed is the root. The root,
Okay, so what part of the plant grows first? Yes.
The root.
The root. Good job.
always grows downward, no matter what way the seed is planted. A seed can actually tell which way is up and which way is down. So the root pushes down deeper and deeper into the soil, looking for more water and minerals to feed the baby plant. Once the plant is all grown up, those deep roots will have another job. They'll help keep the plant from falling over or blowing away in the wind. But soon after the first baby root finds its way into the dirt.
Okay, so I want you to write down on your whiteboard one thing the root does for the plant. She just talked about it. Five, four, three, two, one. Okay, everybody hold your whiteboards up. So what is one thing that she said that the roots do for the plant? Hannah says, keeping it from blowing away in the wind. Very good. The roots hold the plant down into the soil so the plant does not blow away. Very good, Hannah.
In a few leaves, pushes its way up towards the sunlight. Once the shoot breaks through the soil to the open air above, we say that it's sprouted. Now the plant doesn't need the endosperm anymore because it can make its own food from sunlight. With enough water and sunlight and the right temperature, the young plant will continue to grow, getting bigger and growing more leaves until it's an adult plant and it can produce seeds of its own. Next time you're about to chow down on a handful of sunflower seeds, just think, it's like you've got a whole field of flowers right in your hand. Thanks to our friend Dimitri for asking this great question. And if any of you have a question for any of us here at the fort, let us know by leaving a comment or emailing us at kids@thescishow.com. See you.
All right. So, I'm going to begin writing plant or drawing plant on the board. As I begin drawing it, I want you guys to tell me what part of the plant I'm drawing, and we're going to have a small discussion about each part of the plant, because then you guys are going to go on your own and do this yourself and be able to label how many parts? What did our objective today say?
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4 parts. There's 4 parts of the plant that you should know, starting with the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the flower. Okay, I'm going to begin my plant here. We have our little seed. Here's the ground. Then this first little part that starts to grow is called what? Yes, Anna?
The roots.
These are the roots. And the roots provide the food for the plant, as it is a seed. It's giving it all that water from the soil to build this plant up into a big plant. And the next part we have here is called what? We haven't really talked much about this one. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you. This is called the stem. And this is like the big part of the plant. This is the part that holds the leaves on it, holds the flower. This is called the stem. What the stem does is it takes all the food from the roots and brings it up into the plant and into the leaves so that the plant can stay healthy. So this next part we're going to draw is going to be the what? Yes, Hannah?
The leaves.
These are the leaves. We're going to go ahead and label these so you guys can see them. We have the roots. We have the stem. And these are the leaves. And what the leaves do, does anybody remember what I was saying about the leaves? They stand and do what?
Get the sunlight.
They get the sunlight. They're like big arms on the plant. They're bringing in all that sunlight so the plant can grow and grow and grow until it has the top, which is called the
Flower.
flower. Good. And what the flower does the flower produces pollen for bugs to come in and grab the pollen and take it to their hive, little bees. They go to their hive and that's how they make honey. So the flower, it also makes the plant look pretty, but the flower part is what makes the pollen in the middle here, that dark spot that I drew for you. And that is what the flower does. So, I'm going to give everyone a piece of paper, and I want you guys to draw your own plants. It can be any color, it can be any size, any type of plant you want it to be, but it has to have the roots, the stem, the leaves, and the flower. And we have to remember that we have to label each part the right way. 3 out of 4 have to be correct. And you have to explain to me sentence below what each part of these part of the plant do. Okay, class.
Oh yes.
Oh, classy class.
Yes, yes.
Good. So today we had a lesson on plants, and we had to talk about each part of the plant, what the plant does, how the plant grows, and I want to just go back and make sure everybody's understanding so that next week we can move on to our new lesson. So, I want to know, let me see here, can anybody, we're going to do this partner talk actually. Look at your partner, and I want you to tell your partner what a root is and what it does. Go ahead, you have 1 minute. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody back up to the front. We had good discussions everywhere. I heard a lot of people talking about that it holds the plant down into the ground. It gives the plants the food from the soil. It gives the plant water. So those are all great things. I'm glad you guys understand what a root is. The next thing we're going to discuss is the stem. Does anybody remember when I was drawing my plant up here? What does the stem do? Does anybody remember? Yes.
Make sure the food and water goes to the whole plant.
Good. Make sure that the whole plant gets all that food and water that root is bringing up out of the ground. Good job. So, we're going to talk about the flower now. Well, we talked about the leaves. The leaves, does anybody remember what the leaves do? Yes.
Catch all the sunlight.
They catch all the sunlight with those big arms and bring all that sunlight in so that our plant can grow and grow and grow. And then we have our flower. And our flower, as we remember up on the board when I drew it, has all those petals. It makes our plant look pretty. But what else does that flower do? I want you to write it on your whiteboard. And you got 1 minute. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, everybody back up to the front. Let's hold up our whiteboards and see what everybody has to say about flowers. We have creates pollen for bees to take. Good job. That is exactly what the flower part does. It creates all that pollen in the middle so that the bees can come in, get that pollen, take it back to their hive, and they're going to create honey from that. Good. We're just going to look over our objective to make sure that everybody is on point with this objective. I think everybody did a great job today. Okay. So our objective for this lesson was given a piece of paper, which everybody got their piece of paper, and everybody was able to draw the plant and identify, everybody remembers what identify meant, label, and explain each part of a plant with 3 out of 4 correct answers. And everybody in class today met mastery, which is very awesome. So that completes our lesson, and I hope everybody learned something today about plants.